Hello and welcome. I'm Silvia Pavoni, economics editor of The Banker, and I'm talking to Guillermo Ortiz, who is the chairman of Banorte, the leading Mexican locally owned bank. Guillermo, there have been a lot of discussions around all the reforms that Mexico has been embarking upon, which includes the much-awaited energy reform. Is this a turning point for the country?
Well, I think so. This administration has already pushed, and Congress has already approved a number of very important reforms in education, in telecommunications, in government, in local government transparency. There's a fiscal reform now in consideration in Congress, but the most important one from the point of view of let's say, changing the landscape of the country is the energy reform. It should be passed within the next few weeks. I think that the main political parties have pretty much agreed on it. Maybe one of them, the leftist party, will be out of the final count, but they will not block it. And there are three parts which are very important. One is that the electricity sector is completely liberated. I think the other very important aspect is that the petrochemical industry will be finally integrated. Today, part of the petrochemical industry, what's called basic petrochemicals, is reserved for the states, reserved for Pemex. So as a result, we don't have an integrated petrochemical industry in Mexico. This will change. And the last part, of course, is that there are practically no exploration in the Gulf of Mexico, in the deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico. You see, in the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico, the one that belongs to the US, more than 1 million barrels a day are produced. And there's zero production in deep waters in Mexico. And of course, you have the shale gas reserves. Mexico has one of the largest shale gas reserves in the world. That's totally untapped. So these constitutional changes are aimed at producing joint ventures between the government of Mexico, and the vehicle could be Pemex or another vehicle, to have joint production agreements or joint profit agreements, or even licenses. So I mean, this is a sea change for Mexico, and it means that the whole concept of North America in terms of a region that is rich in energy and for many years will change, I think, the economic landscape not only of North America but also the balance in the world.
So truly a game changer for Mexico.
Absolutely. I think that there is a lot of investment in manufacturing going back to the States and to Mexico. So I think that this is a game changer for the country.
And part of the reforms will also help the integration of Latin America as a region, which is, again, something that is much needed given the fact that regional trade is a smaller percentage than what happens within other regions in the world.
No, by all means, regional trade in Latin America is less than 1/2 of what is in Asia, for example. In Asia, they did it much quicker. I think that the most promising initiative is what's called El Arco del Pacífico. That's an agreement between Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Mexico. We already have a free trade agreement, but we're going to be doing a much more comprehensive alliance that includes investment, financial aspects, and so on. And I think that the efforts at regional integration in Latin America has been going on for at least 50 years.
Yes.
And so far, they have been pretty unsuccessful. You have had some bilateral trade agreements that have worked, but the concept of a region, the concept of integration is far from reality. For the first time, I think that you're seeing something that is actually workable and viable. And I think that the important part is that, as it was in the case of NAFTA, it's the private sector that is driving the process. Of course, there is the commitment and the political will on the part of governments, but the private sector is fully behind it.
So this is a time for a turning point for Mexico, and it seems like for the whole of the region, Latin America as well.
Well, we hope so, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments.